Everybody ready? All right, we'll open it up.
Does that one put years back on your life? Does that one put years back on your life?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, all the ones they took off, they put back on today. What a great day in Dallas. What a great day here. And I just could not be happier. I wanted so badly for it to go right. You know, there was a good amount at stake today, but maybe not quite as much as there has been for a good while. You know, we kind of had some things our way, but just for me, you know, I just wanted the seniors to feel like exactly like they feel right now, and it could not have been scripted better, could not have gone better, and I'm telling you, I'm just so happy for everybody.
Tim, what does it mean? Last year when you guys had senior night, there was confetti, there was celebration, but this year knowing that that's not the end for you guys, that there's more.
Yeah, well, I don't think we did last year. We got second last year. That was 2 years ago.
No, the home court last year. For the senior night last year, y'all did have confetti.
Oh, but not for a championship. Right. Oh, I see. Yeah, to end the season. I got you.
Right. But now
yes. Yeah. Well. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I forgot about all the confetti. But no. This has to be more special because it is a journey to accomplish an awful lot of things and more to come. Whereas, like you say, that was a finite ending. We already knew, and it was great to be honored in that way, our guys to be honored. But no, this has a different feeling. All these great things that have happened for this team that have been deserved and earned over time can do nothing but really fuel their confidence. You know, this week is, how could this not be a good confidence builder? This week coming back home, and we'd been on the road a long time, or at least it seemed like. I think we hadn't played since the Tulane game here, if I'm not mistaken. We went on the road to Houston and Connecticut, and it's been a good while. But to play like this is, it was just so special.
Can you describe how it's different personally for you, winning a championship as an assistant versus as a head coach?
Well, they're both great, both outstanding. I can say that for sure. But you know, maybe there's a little bit extra satisfaction because the biggest difference between when you are an assistant or when you're head, and I've been, you know, both a lot of years, so I really felt it from both sides, is the amount of responsibility that you feel. As hard as you try an assistant, you can never get to that level of feeling that amount of responsibility, nor you know, the amount of stress that comes with it. So it's a little bit like this. I always tell guys, you know, in high school, you'll never have more fun playing basketball probably than you do in high school, but you'll never have more satisfaction than you do when you play in college, if you're assuming both situations are good. And it's because it's so hard. You know, the harder it is, the more satisfying it is. And the conference season is grueling, and it's a tremendous test, and so there's a lot of satisfaction in that.
Coach, you've coached a lot of special teams over your career. How does this victory and this championship rank with, you know, other similar experiences?
Right with them, you know, and you're right. I have been very fortunate over time to be with some great teams, great talent, teams that made great runs, and I think about that exact question really a lot. And it's a very, very small group that I could even put this one in their class. This is a unique group. I mean, a total joy to coach. Everything you would hope when you become a coach, you would hope that you would have guys like this. They're hungry, they're mature, they're bright. They want to be coached. They want to be a team. They want to win desperately. They want to work outside of practice time. And maybe all those things sound like, well, that goes on all around the country. It doesn't. It just doesn't. And to be this fortunate, and partly by design. I mean, it wasn't all luck, but there certainly is a piece of that in it. You can't always know how someone's going to react or what they're going to be like once they get into your program. And I mean, all these guys they've just been amazing, really.
Tim, assess this victory, 103 points. You made 14 out of 28 threes. You defend the three extremely well. Is it just one of those complete game wins?
Yes, complete game. I don't know how we could play better. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, you're never going to play a perfect game. We're all trying for it. Sometimes you think on the defensive end you could play nearly perfect, not to say the ball's not going to go in, but you could be in great position and make the right plays. But you're human. The game's too fast. You can never do that. But gosh, if you can, again this week, we've had 2 games that were like, my gosh, we're just playing as well as we've played the entire season. So. Again, broken record. I just think it's a testament to these guys. Their heart and their brains, and it's a beautiful combination.
The other night after the Tulsa game, you were joking that Shemi Ojale had gone 9 for 9, and maybe you hadn't gotten him enough shots. Well, he finally missed one tonight. Is that why you had him stop at 6?
Yeah, we need to take him out. You got to take a guy out if he's not going to make shots for you, and. So probably played him way too much. I mean, come on, you're going to go 5 for 6, and he shoots 6 times, gets 19 points, for gosh sake. I'd call that pretty efficient. And here's another thing about these guys. We have a number of guys, I think you all know it, that on a team with maybe less talent, maybe less camaraderie, less chemistry. They could shoot the ball a lot more. They could force things. They could score more points, and maybe because of that, might even receive a little more notoriety. Although I still believe, and I believe they believe, if you want notoriety, win big. That's how you get notoriety. Nobody's really keeping track of who the leading scorers around the country are. They're keeping track of who the best teams are, and that's where the focus goes. But what I'm saying is we have a number of guys that could score more points if it weren't for the fact that we have a lot of good players, and we do share the ball, and we allow everyone to have a chance to have a big night. And I've always been a believer in that. I really have. I know I've watched other coaches that feature 1 or 2 guys, and they try to run everything for them. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not one of those. I like to have 5 weapons out there, and you just don't know where and when, and depending on your scheme and your personnel, whether you can handle all of the guys we have on the floor. And I just have always believed in that philosophy and tried to recruit to it. And I think it just makes you a little tougher to prepare for, a little tougher to beat over the course of time.
You talked about those qualities making you a good offensive team. What makes this a good defense?
The kind of the same quality. I guess start here. We are very athletic. We are. If you'd be lying if you told somebody we're slow or not strong or all the things that go powerful. We jump well, and we have tremendous size at the guard spot. So we are lengthy, other than up front, and our up front defenders, Shake and Ben, are just so good at not getting taken advantage of. But then once you have that, other teams have that. A bunch of teams have, length, quickness, all those kinds of things, even more depth. But what we have is amazing heart and amazing unselfishness, because I have contended that you want to start with the unselfish, then it starts the defensive end. If you see the guy next to you giving all he has on each and every possession, knowing full well that the only guys that ever get all defensive team are the ones that block the most shots or steal the most balls. It's not who's the best defender ever, at least not where I've been. It's too hard to figure out who's a great defender, but it's easy to go to the stats and go, well, he leads them in blocks and he leads them in steals. Those are our 2 best. And that's not true. From coach's standpoint, we love guys you can put on somebody and stop them, or you can make their life really difficult. These guys buy into that. They take pride in getting stops, and they're smart enough to know that that's winning basketball. And if we do that, we'll score. If we're playing harder defense than you are, good chance we're going to win, because we got pretty darn good offensive weapons.
Given what happened last season, do you feel like this group has that extra itch to accomplish something substantial this postseason?
Yes, but I don't know if it's from last year because we don't talk about it anymore. We talked about it at the beginning of the year, but I don't know. I just don't want to be a coach, every other week saying, you remember last year when we didn't get to go, because I know they know that. So I don't know if it's measurable, but I know that it sure feels like a team that has a little chip on their shoulder. But I have a hunch about these guys. They would be exactly the same regardless of what happened last year. I really do.
Coming into the game, were you worried about how emotions might affect your guys' play?
Very much, because I've seen, the one thing I would say, most senior days, they're not in the middle. Usually you're going to get tremendous effort, energy, enthusiasm, tremendous play, or sometimes it backfires and there's too much emotion and there's too many guys trying too hard to make it go. And I've seen teams play out of character the other way. So absolutely, that was my number one concern coming in here to, hope, particularly the seniors, that they could hold, that they could treat it much like any other game and just play within themselves. And they did that. They did that. And so I was, after about 5 minutes, I wasn't worried anymore. I could tell everybody was pretty relaxed.
When did you tell Jonathan that he'd get the start, and what was his reaction?
I told Jonathan,
Senior day.
I want to say, he'd probably tell you better, at least a week ago, I told him that. And the reason I did, because he has deserved to play. If he was on a lesser team, his tough thing is he's on such a darn good team. I mean, there's guys that they're hard for me to take out of the game, honestly. But Jonathan has worked his way up into a guy that can play real minutes in Division I basketball. And I've watched him work so hard. I asked him to do it, to say you have to be prepared at any time. You never know what's going to happen. He did it each and every day, day after day, with almost no reward. And I felt, you talk about all the positives and all the happy things that happened this year. The toughest one for me was him, And you come home, you're like, gosh darn, he's just working so hard. He's gotten so much better. He could play and help us, and I rarely play him. So incredible character, but I did tell him about a week ago, I think.
Two more, Dick, first.
Ben Mellinger didn't play in the second half. Is that an injury situation?
Yes. Yeah, here we go again. We got another guy that this happens all the time. His thing, he sprained basically his ankle. It's right in his ankle area, and he was very sore. Didn't practice yesterday. We were questionable for today. He was not questionable because he said he's not going to let the seniors down. So he tried to play, and he and I don't know how many other guys have done exactly the same thing this year. And it's not trying to publicize the guys limping around, but what character that shows, what courage. And so he was not playing 100% tonight. No.
Steve, you said after the Tulsa game you tempered your enthusiasm over winning a share of the championship because you hadn't won it outright yet. Well, now you have. So how are you going to celebrate this?
I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I hadn't planned that far ahead. How about that for a wonderful answer? I'm a pretty exciting guy, as you can tell. Most of the celebration that I feel like doing will be after the season. One form of celebration that I have right now, late in the year, is sleep. I'm big on that, so that'll be part of the celebration. Maybe a great meal. I don't know, but we have a lot more work to do, and I don't want to undersell this. It feels wonderful. I couldn't be happier for staff, manager, everybody, our trainer, Warren, strength coach, Mark, everybody involved, all our coaches. A lot goes into the conference season. So my celebration, I don't know if it needs to be all that exciting outwardly, but inside it feels so great.
Did you have one more?
Yes.
I don't know, but he was scoring in just about every way possible tonight. What's been the most impressive part of how his offensive game has developed since he's
Well, for me, it was just that he became an outstanding shooter. That when he came here, I was a little worried because you could look at him as a little bit of a tweener. He was about 6'5", 6'6", not really certainly not a point guard. And if he's going to play the wing, you'd like for him to be able to shoot the ball a little bit better than he did when he got here. And the amount of work he's put in, he's become what I would call nearly a pure shooter. He's a great shooter now. I mean, don't you think every one of them's going in every time he shoots? And that's when you know a guy's a shooter, when you're surprised when they miss. And I am surprised when he misses. And then now he's become a playmaker. You know, he's making plays for others. He's a scorer. He drives the ball, he scores it. He makes plays for others. He shoots threes. He's getting fouled. You know, he's really expanded his offensive game, and he's one heck of a player.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck next week.
Thank you.